Welcome back to another episode of FutureProof You's podcast, F Yourself. Again, I am Dan Yu, co-host and co-founder of FutureProof You, along with John Lovig and Aaron Makelky. Good to see you guys again.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Thanks, Dan.
All right. So today we are going to be talking about our upcoming class, AI Skills for Content Creators, which is coming up on March 28th at 12 p.m. Eastern. You can find out more information on our website, futureproof-you.com. Of course, you can find out all about our other classes on our website as well. Please check out our store to learn more about this class coming up, as well as all of our other upcoming classes. So today, AI skills for content creators, but it doesn't necessarily have to be for content creators. It could be for people who are networking, for people who are talking about just kind of their everyday lives, but how can you leverage AI? And I think one of the things that we like to talk about are the myths and misconceptions as we teach sustainable career skills to all of you. John's nodding. I think he has got some comments, early comments here around myths and
Yeah.
misconceptions.
Well, I think the thing is we're saying content creators, right? But we all generate some sort of content. And I think our philosophy tends to be if you're trying to future proof yourself, if you're trying to get out there and you're networking or trying to get a new job or try to have a future orientation around where you want to be, creating content on some of these social media platforms is a really great way to continue to build your personal brand as we constantly talk about. And so almost like we talked about this a few weeks ago, right? The thing that we're trying to do in almost anything is just remove the fear and uncertainty from people's lives, right? If we remove the fear from someone from interviewing, then they will perform better in the interview. Here, it's people don't know what they don't know, but also they're afraid of using AI tools because they don't want to sound like everybody else out there. Right. And I think, Aaron, you have just such an amazing approach to how you can make authentic content that's yours using AI and really supercharge, your ability to create quite a bit much more easily than you could before.
Yeah, and I think one of the problems is people view AI as it'll write it for me, it'll do it for me instead of doing it with you. And we, in the AI skills class, we call it the substitution method. Hey, AI, write this LinkedIn article for me, go, copy, paste. We see that in our feeds every day.
Lots
Here are
of
some
emoji.
telltale signs. You stole it. The 3 to 5 list with green check emoji format
Yeah.
is largely AI generated. And we hear it's not about this, M dash, it's about that.
Oh, the
That
M
is like
dash. Oh, yeah.
the most common AI generated hook that people are literally using AI as a substitute for themselves and their own personality. And one of the things that we teach is one, don't do that because people can tell when you AI generate comments on LinkedIn or tweets, like people know, but use it in an authentic way. Instead of saying, do it for me, say, help me do it on other channels or in different formats that I'm not comfortable with and not have to go recreate all this stuff on my own. Basically, AI is helping me clone myself. I'm not cloning AI.
So with just kind of the general idea around creating content, right? So if we're going to talk about somebody that's creating content professionally, right, on LinkedIn, right? So Aaron, you've spoken about this before, but what's the percentage of people on LinkedIn that are creating content?
3% according to LinkedIn in 2024. 97% are LinkedIn lurkers. 3% are creators. That doesn't mean daily posts like we do. It just means posting anything.
So anything.
97% of people. So, yeah, they're like, I set up a profile and I put a profile picture and maybe my current role, and then I add nothing. I just consume.
Right. And so that's the take kind of mentality. And then how many people what percentage do you think of people are actually creating interactive content like a carousel or a video or an audio? What percentage do you think of the 3% that are left?
Less than 50 for
Wow.
sure.
Okay. Gotcha.
Which means the supply and demand shift is very much in your favor as a creator,
Right.
especially on LinkedIn.
Yeah, it just seems that, on LinkedIn, we see, right, the three of us just, and it's a small sample size, but we see the same creators over and over again, right? And they're really pushing kind of like the boundaries because they know that there's so few of them out there, right? So,
There's one that my friend says constantly shows up in his feed, who's more of an HR influencer. I'm not gonna say their name, but started using calling saying like the person's name style as like someone who's being extra, because it's like just the sheer amount of content this person's putting up is just insane.
I hope I never become that verb.
Extra. I get called that all the time
Dan,
by
you extra?
teenagers.
So,
Or no, it would be Dan you style.
then you
That
stop.
people are like, oh, they're doing it Dan you
Oh
style.
boy. Oh boy. All right. Well, Aaron, the misconceptions, right? The myths and misconceptions, and removing the fear. Like, what are some of the things that that conceptually that you can do, right? That are really easy, right, to overcome, that fear and uncertainty.
Yeah, let's start with this. Pick one AI tool and use it consistently because it's going to get better and better at whatever you're having it do. So it could be ChatGPT, it could be Gemini, it could be Claude. It really doesn't matter the tool, it matters what you've been using it for and what it knows about you. So if you've already been using an AI tool, go to the one you've used the most. They're all so good, it doesn't matter anymore, and that they're all going to converge. And here's what I would start with. I learned this from content creators, but also my students in class. Blank page syndrome. I don't know where to start is sometimes the majority of the battle. It's like, pick a topic for your post, pick what the article is about. Some people spend more time deciding that than they do actually writing the article. Okay, AI is going to help us be authentic, and we can use it to brainstorm. We can say, I don't know what to write about. I'm posting on LinkedIn. Here's my audience and broad topics. So for me, it might be teachers and professors learning to use AI, product reviews, and funny Gen Z humor. Give me 10 different posts in those contexts that I could do. And 7 of them are going to be terrible recommendations. 2 of them will be okay. And hopefully one I go, oh yeah, I could write that article. Okay, good. That took 30 seconds. Now just start writing it. So use it as a brainstorming partner. And if, let's say you've used ChatGPT a lot, go in and say, based on all of our conversations and everything you know about me, suggest 10 articles for my LinkedIn audience. Go. You will be shocked at what it will give you that's personalized based on your thousands of interactions with it.
Now, could you then also upload your examples of your writing, right? So not just the conversations you've had, but upload all of your conversations, all the examples of your articles, or let's say you have some audio out there, and then it would also get to know you even better.
Yes, you can do transcripts from podcasts that you've done, or YouTube videos have transcripts. You can do your blog, your LinkedIn articles. If you have an About Me section of a website you wrote that's in your own voice, all of that works great. ChatGPT uses projects. Claude has the same feature. It's basically a sample size of work that's going to give it context. So let's say ChatGPT is your favorite tool. You just make a project called content creation and start writing your articles in that folder, and it's going to develop a better idea of your topics and your style and your vocabulary and your sense of humor, because you're going to curate that folder to have more and more of your authentic work in it.
So, John, have you ever thought about using this for your stuff?
Yeah, I mean, the couple ways I've been thinking about it, and Aaron, we even talked about it last session, is I record all my candidate interviews and all of my coaching sessions with a tool that gives me transcripts, and I use ChatGPT now to organize my notes, but I can use it to pull out, nuggets of wisdom that might be bestowed upon those who I speak with at any given time. The other thing I was just thinking about is I could take all my LinkedIn posts from my articles and upload those into projects, and now I can have it give me enough content probably for weeks at this point.
Yeah, you've been pretty prolific these days, and everyone should follow John Lovig for really great advice on many different topics, including things like ghost jobs and interview skills. So
So can we give a sample prompt of what someone like John who goes, I have all these transcripts or
yes,
articles, but I haven't
Yeah.
used them. Keyword here is authentically. We don't want to say, write me 5 blog posts about job searching.
Yeah.
We want to say, here is a folder or a series of PDFs, whatever format. John has all those in. Upload those and say, I am a job search expert. I coach my clients on these things, whatever. Based on the transcripts of these calls, I need 5 ideas for LinkedIn articles, one for each of the next week. What are the 5 lessons that I keep teaching or reiterating the most with my clients? And it's going to look in, let's say, 50 pages of transcripts and find common conversations John keeps having with his clients. Okay, those are your 5 posts. Now let's write the first one based on 100% my own words in the transcript. I need you to edit that only for formatting, length, and sequence. In other words, don't change words, just rearrange or get rid of them for my audience of job hunters on LinkedIn. Go. I do that with the transcript of these podcasts. I do that with my own YouTube. I do that with Zoom calls where I'm like, hey, there was something good off that transcript, and it's labeled John talked, Bob talked. Okay, I kept all of John's words. Instead of paragraph form, it did like some bullets and a header and a big question, and it takes your client's name out of it. Boom, totally authentic. And you don't have to go write that 2-3 page article by yourself. You're using AI as a magnifier of what John's doing one-on-one with his Zoom client to reach 2,000 people that got impressions on his article this week.
and so now that's going from, let's say, one format like audio, but also maybe a written word into written word, but that can be pivoted in multiple ways, right?
Well, Dan, let's say you do a bunch of write-ups and go, how could I turn this into a video? You can take your long form text, put it in your platform that has the best sense of you, so say ChatGPT, and say, rearrange this to serve as a podcast transcript or a video transcript that I'm going to record on this topic for this audience. But keep all of my authentic words. Done. And then it's a matter of like, read that off to your microphone or read that in front of your camera, and you're capturing mediums that you wouldn't have had if you just did text.
And so, what's the importance of being in multiple channels, multiple mediums?
Here's what all the content creators told me when I started exactly a week ago or a year ago last week. I started. They said, pick one platform and get good at it. Terrible advice. Don't do that. Here's why. You have no idea how algorithms and audiences will shift while you're only doing one thing. With about 5% extra effort, you can hit other channels without recreating. You don't need a new video for Instagram that you did on TikTok. Why would you not cross post those? And I learned this because I had a video get a lot of views on TikTok. I was not checking Facebook. I don't look at Facebook personally. I have never posted organically in Facebook in my life, but I have a bunch of videos because I cross post. One day I thought, I wonder what views my Facebook videos get that I never look at. I had a 2 million view video
Come
on Facebook
on.
and did not know it. I didn't know it. I was like, it could have 2 or 200. I wonder. And I looked, 2 million. Because everybody's like, just do TikTok. I literally said, and Facebook when I posted things, and I captured 2 million views in like a month on the same video with how much extra effort, like clicking a button. Why would you not want to do
Right.
that?
Right.
Well, it's like this podcast. We're not just going to put it on Apple Podcasts, right? We want to put it on all the podcasting platforms because we want to reach the largest audience. And so you don't have discrete audiences. I mean, you have discrete audiences sometimes with different platforms. You'll have overlap, but the people won't care about that.
Yeah, the Venn diagram
And
is very small, right? Like it's usually pretty discreet.
yeah, the person who's listing on Spotify is not going to be reading the article on LinkedIn, besides
Right.
us, maybe.
Right.
But yeah, and the other example is people go, well, if I'm going to sit down and put a mic on and I'm going to record the audio, why would you not turn on a camera? Who cares if it's like I'm not in a studio, I'm literally in a closet. I don't care. I might as well capture the video because I'm going to sit for 40 minutes and talk. Why not get the video version on YouTube and the audio version on Spotify and Apple, the text version as a LinkedIn article, and then our own blog on our website is a text version? How much extra effort is that versus just record the audio?
Right.
20 more minutes, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Is it still authentic? That's the question. Or is AI like doing the work impersonating us? Or is it just helping us be in more channels to capture more people we can help?
yeah, well, I think your example of having it write for us and then recording off of whatever you're speaking, I mean, AI won't capture the emphasis or the tone inflections, right? Like it won't get that, but that's how you get authenticity. And I think in this world, the authenticity matters more so than ever, especially with all those green check mark posts, right? So Aaron, next week we have our class. So AI skills for content creators, March 28th at 12 p.m. Eastern. You can check out more information on our website, futureproof-you.com, futureproof-you. So any final thoughts around what people can expect in next week's class?
Yes. If you had an intern or a virtual assistant, would you delegate some of your content creation and repurposing tasks to them? Almost every content creator I know says like, yeah, there's the editing part or the scripting or even just going in and posting. I hate that. It takes me away from what I really want to do. There's a way to use AI to automate that or at least remove friction so that you can post more and better content. And what we're going to learn about are frameworks and systems that anybody can use to take friction out of that process, because the game right now on social media, it doesn't matter about polish. It matters about authenticity and just being there consistently. Like your time making something fancy would be better spent making 10 more rough cuts of the same thing. 100%. I experience that on platforms all of the time. So how can we use AI to lessen the friction to me just posting more consistently and more authentically?
It's great. So removing the friction, removing the blockers, right? And helping people out there overcome their fear and uncertainty, right? And that's what we're here for at FutureProof You. So we will see you next week, hopefully in class. Again, this has been another episode of FutureProof You's podcast, F Yourself. And thank you to the audience for tuning in again.